This is the lineup that will win the Euros.
First up, we've got goalkeeper, and for me, there's no real debate about this. Jordan Pickford is England's number one. In Euro 2020, he conceded 2 goals in the whole entire tournament, not conceding until the semi-final. Jordan Pickford made an outstanding penalty save against Jorginho to keep England alive in the penalty shootout, and at that time, Jorginho was one of the best penalty takers in the world.
Pickford is down to stop him! England are still alive!
In his last 12 games, including Euros and World Cup, he's kept 8 clean sheets in 12. There's no real debate about this one, so let's move on to left back where I've got Trippier. Trippier has made a lot of errors this season, and overall it's probably not been his best season, but with Luke Shaw being injured, he's probably the only option. Trippier is still a good player. We all know what he's capable of doing, like in the World Cup. If Trippier starts, I don't think he'll do that bad, but if Shaw was fit, I'll definitely start him. Moving on to right back, well, I'm going to go for Kyle Walker. On his day, he's probably the best right back in the world, and for England, he's very consistent. He's a top quality player, never really makes a mistake for England. But next up, at centre-back, we've got Harry Maguire and John Stones. Harry Maguire is probably the most consistent England player. Every time he puts on the England shirt, he turns into Prime Maldini. He was England's best player for the World Cup, and I'll definitely start him for the Euros. The other centre-back, I'm going for John Stones. John Stones is probably the best centre-back in the Premier League, always consistent. He's made some outstanding goal line clearances, and overall, he's very consistent. Moving on to the midfield, and the first centre-mid, I think we should have Declan Rice. Declan Rice is probably the best midfielder in the Premier League. He's so consistent, week in, week out. He's probably Arsenal's best player, and he should definitely start in the Euros. These are his stats in the Premier League. Almost every single one is green. He's been that good that some people even have him as the team of the season. Declan Rice is a very consistent English player, and I think we can all agree he deserves to be in the team. As the other centre-mid, I'm going to go for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham started off the season as one of the most goal contributions in La Liga history, getting 6 goals and assists in his first 4 games for Real Madrid. He was even one of the favourites to win the Ballon d'Or. In his first season in La Liga, he's already got the same goals as Lewandowski, who's considered a great goal scorer. Moving on to Cam, I'm actually going to go for Cole Palmer. There's a big debate who's better, Palmer or Saka, who's going to play on the wing, but Palmer is so much more effective in the middle. If you look at all the Premier League goals and assist stats, he's always near the top on all of them. For me, Palmer is a really special player, and if he starts in the Euros, I think he'll do well. He's also a really good penalty taker, and we all know what happened last time England got a penalty. Left wing, I'm going to go for Foden. Foden has 27 goal contributions in the Premier League, and he's very good. Foden has scored 2 hat-tricks in the Premier League this season and multiple braces. He's a big aspect to that Man City team, but he's also a big aspect to the England team as well. In the past few tournaments, he's been very good for England, and notably one of the best England players. If England win the Euros, he'll definitely be up there for the Ballon d'Or as well. Saka is kind of like Foden. Both got similar goal contributions and both play for top Premier League clubs. Saka's play style is quite similar to Palmer. Both are the young stars of the teams and both very good, and I can see why people debate about them. Up front, I'm obviously going to go for Harry Kane. If there was one guaranteed player to start in this tournament, it's definitely going to be Harry Kane. England's most proven goal scorer of all time, and he's just very, very good. Been smashing records in Bundesliga, getting 36 goals and 8 assists. For me, Harry Kane is an England legend, and I can definitely see him winning the Golden Boot. But anyways, that wraps up my predicted lineup for the Euros. Let me know if you agree, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments what your team would be. But anyways, like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah.